I'm selecting it on Instagram. Okay, there's a go live button there, but it's not doing anything, I don't feel like. Okay, and then I'm selecting it on. I feel like I'm not centered on Instagram. Is that your impression as well? Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to let some people join in. Welcome, 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 dear friends. Let's see. We're going to give a people a few more minutes to jump in. Okay, so I see a few more people are chiming in. Hi, Nicole. Hi, El Holland. Hi, Ramon, friend. Good to see you. Hi, Spike. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think we might be live in all the places, but I need to get the thumbs up. Okay, I'm looking in the Slack channel. Once I get the thumbs up, all systems to go. Okay, I'm getting the thumbs up. Okay, that means all systems to go. Welcome, welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Rachel Gainsborough from Short Term Gyms. I am so glad you're here today. I help busy professionals just like you create a life that you do not need a vacation from. And the way that we do that is through no nonsense real estate investing strategies. So that is my superpower. It is all about finding the quality over the quantity. Less is more is my mantra day in and day out because coming from being a busy professional doctor myself, I know that the struggle is real. I host the Luxury Rental Doctor podcast. This is where I break down real estate investing into easy, actionable, bite-sized pieces, my friends. Okay, so today we're diving into another amazing Q&A session where we're talking everything midterm rental market. So go ahead. I'm not going to lecture you to pieces tonight. Start dropping your questions in the chat right now. Anything related to midterm rental market, I am your gal. So go ahead and drop those questions in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing screens with you, right? Just to make sure that we do not interfere with the stream, okay? So go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. I am pulling them up now. I got a few questions a little bit earlier, so that is really, really excited for to me, and I hope she's okay with me sharing, okay? So our friend, the beloved, dropped a question in the chat stating that she saw our episode on Better Life. So we had the opportunity to get interviewed by Brandon Turner, the original podcast host at Bigger Pockets. So it was truly, truly a full circle moment for me, guys and gals, because I remember going through having $500,000 in student loan debt, graduating from school, working my fingers to the bone, just essentially fighting for my life. My husband and I, we had 5 jobs between the two of us. And as we were just kind of plowing away at the debt, we determined, you know what? Yes, we are making some progress, but really, is this what life has in store for us for the next, decade or so? And I heard a quote from Warren Buffett where he said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And guys, I was shook. I was shook. I felt attacked. I felt absolutely attacked. And so I took that to heart and I wanted to figure out, well, how does one find a way to make money while they sleep? And that is how I started to learn about real estate investing. I took off my Dave Ramsey hat and put on my Bigger Pockets hat. And to tell you that we got to go on that interview recently with Brandon Turner. We flew out to Maui and we just had an incredible experience. And so I got to share a little bit about my story. Would love for you guys to have a listen. DM me with Pod if you want to have a listen to that. And I'll be sure to send the link your way. So The question that I got asked was, how do we get started with investing in real estate? What is your target audience? I love that. Okay, so our member, the beloved, who dropped this question in the chat, she is in the Baltimore area. She's 10 minutes away from Johns Hopkins Hospital. She is a fellow medical professional, so right up my alley. And so for me, my first question to her would be, let's walk you through the crow methodology to find out exactly if you have any assets that you have access to. And so I have a methodology called crow. I like methodologies because it helps us to just kind of walk through a process. So C stands for connected. Is there a property you're connected to, such as an asset that you may have access to already, something that is in your family lineage? I know I can't relate because we're immigrants, so we do not have like estates or anything like that, right? We're going to be the ones leaving estates behind, but we haven't walked into any types of situations where we have estates. Our parents have given us has gifted us the gift of work ethic and not and not trust funds, just saying. But nevertheless, we will walk through the crow methodology. C is for connected. Is there a property you're connected to? Is there a market you're connected to? For instance, somewhere you visited throughout your childhood, somewhere you have traveled to when you were working, or you've traveled to for pleasure. It just depends. So we would start there with the crow method. From there, we would go to R, CROW. So R is for recommended by professionals. So, is there a market that you're hearing come up again and again and again from from professionals, such as real estate agents, property managers, lenders, closing attorneys, even the cleaners? My cleaners have brought deals to me that have not even been placed on the market just because we have those relationships. O is on trend. O is for on trend. So is are there blogs that you're researching? This is where you put on your thinking cap. I want you to research some blogs to see, well, what are the top cities that are generating the most revenue? Because again, less is more, quality over quantity. We're not going to take down 100 underperforming doors netting $100 per door. That is not a vibe. That does not make me want to wake up in the morning, right? Less is more. Which markets are there where there's an opportunity to generate anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 per month on those properties, right? What are those trends looking like? And some of the reporting is out there. We use tools such as AirDNA to find out that information. Furnish Finder publishes a large amount of information as well, just because they have quite a bit of individuals searching their platforms. So I use those tools amongst others. There are tools also like Price Labs is a dynamic pricing tool, as well as Rabu. If I go to rabu.com, I'm able to extract some of that data as well. And a lot of these companies that provide data, they write blogs on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis as well. So keep your eyes peeled for those on trend locations and make sure that you're jotting down those locations that are showing up again, again, and again. Okay. And then last is W for word of mouth. What are you hearing? What is everyone talking about? Where is the buzz coming from, right? And so with that, my dear friend, the beloved who dropped this question, how do I get started? Is you identify your market. That's the first step. You find out, well, what are the 5, 6, or even 10 markets that I should be considering? And then from there, my friend, we're going to use a couple filtration processes, okay? We want to evaluate the numbers. We want to evaluate the numbers. Number one is, what is the occupancy rate in that particular market? 50% is my go-to number for an occupancy rate to identify a market that has demand. That means travelers are actually coming to this market. They want to understand, hey, you get the understanding, hey, there are people interested in coming to this market month after month after month. Okay, so 50% is that threshold. 49% I can handle as well. However, 30% is a non starter. Those markets are very much dead in terms of the demand for travelers to come in. So it's going to be really, really difficult for you to get bookings month after month after month. Set yourself up for success. Do not sell yourself up for failure. Make sure that you're evaluating that 50% occupancy rate. It is the key. It is the key to making sure that there's always eyes on your property, that you are getting inquiries, back to back inquiries, and you're keeping your occupancy rate where you want it to be. Okay, I will tell you, for my short term rentals, our occupancy rate are about 68 to 72%. Our midterm rentals, our occupancy rate are around 85 to 95%. Okay, so that's where we want our occupancy rate to be. However, when we are initially evaluating a market, 50% is just my go to identify, okay, yeah, this is a market where we have visitors and it is worthwhile for me to take a look and see what's going on in that particular market. Okay. So that is the first filtration process. So, beloved, again, you have your list of 10 markets or 10 different addresses. We want to figure out, well, what is the occupancy rate for those markets? That's where I would start. And then I would start crossing out the actual markets or locations where it does not meet that criteria. The next criteria are the numbers, right? So we can have all of these goals and dreams to actually leverage a property in a particular market, but your budget is your guide. At the end of the day, your budget is your guide, dear friends. So what is your budget, right? And what is the revenue compared to your budget? For example, inside of our community, one of our members just closed on a property. Her budget was $550,000, and her revenue goal, your budget to goal, right? Her revenue goal was $100,000, and that's a really nice ratio for me. I love a good $100,000 revenue goal per year, especially at a $500,000 purchase price. That's because that would yield us about like a 20% gross. And the way you come up with that is you would take the 100,000 divided by the 500,000. It gives you 20%. Hers specifically, her goal was 550. So a little bit less than 20%, but still within that arena, so to speak. So we found a market where she had the opportunity to generate anywhere from 98,000 to 170,000, which was, yes, it was great. It was a sub market in Texas. Okay, a sub market in Texas, and she found she was looking for a property. At $550,000. Say she's looking on Zillow. Well, you know what? Zillow, I told her I would like for her to go ahead and expand her search, and not just limit the maximum to 550. Go ahead and expand it to 600,000, because that allows you to access more properties in your search if you expand a little bit more. So when she expanded it, she was able to find a property for 570,000. Remember, her budget was 550, so this property was already above budget. However, when the inspection report came in, there are some things that we wanted to get fixed. We asked for some concessions, and she was able to get an offer accepted at $530,000. They accepted 530. Listen, for those of you who are multitasking, come back to me. Her budget was 550. We expanded it to 600 just to see what else is out there. We found a property for 570 that met the criteria of a property that would generate over 100,000. All right. She put in an offer for 530. They accepted it, even though it was on the market for 570. So I really hope you're paying attention. It is officially, my friend, a buyer's market. I don't care what anyone tells me. Time and time again, we're seeing it inside of our community. It is a buyer's market. It is a buyer's market, but you have to tread lightly. You have to know how to negotiate to get these amazing, amazing deals. All right, so close on the property, good to go. And again, this is a property once all of the furnishings are put in, we're expecting it to generate $100,000, a little bit more than that. Okay. All right, so those are the types of numbers that I like. Those are the types of numbers that I like. That one I gave it my stamp of approval all day, every day. However, I had another member share a property with me that they found in Raleigh. Okay, so in Raleigh, in this particular zip code, the revenue potential was around $78,000 a year. Still, very healthy revenue potential. But remember, your budget is your guide, right? It's a two-pronged approach. There are two levers. Yes, I want to know how much money you can generate, but I want to know how much you're purchasing the property for as well. And so when we filter down to the actual properties that could generate that $78,000 a year, I was finding 1.2 million, 2.5 million, 999,000. At the end of the day, we're looking at a 4%, 4.6% yield, which does not meet our criteria. We like 15 plus percent, 20% is ideal, 15 plus percent is great. That was a 4.6%. So that was a non starter. I said no go. Okay. So this market, again, the good news was it was like a 60% occupancy rate, which is phenomenal. But again, the price to rent ratio, the revenue potential versus the purchase price, it was at a 4.6%. So that is a non starter. We are not doing that. Okay. All right. So keep dropping your questions, guys. We are asking all questions related to midterm rental markets tonight. This is our official Q&A for our Wednesday night. We wanted to come in here and make sure that you got your questions answered. I get a lot of questions inside of my DM, especially ever since we have been featured on the Better Life podcast with Brandon Turner. And so we're getting questions about that particular episode and some of the things that I spoke about. So I wanted to come in here and answer those questions on your behalf. It was just such an extraordinary experience, guys. I wanted to share it with you a little bit and then just answer some questions for you. Okay, so next question is, how do you market your property to your target audience? Okay, so that is a great question. Okay, so let's level set a little bit. I truly believe that the way that you make money with short-term rental and midterm rental investing is by truly understanding who your audience is, who your ideal guest avatar is. So it is stated in so many different ways, shapes, and forms, but it's the same thing at the end of the day. Okay, so who is it that you want to serve? Who do you want to serve? For some of you, for the midterm rental avatar, you're thinking of travel nurses and so on and so forth. But for me, I primarily target multi-generational, multi-families traveling with children and pets. Though that is my audience for the most part for both my short and midterm rentals. However, the situation for my midterm rentals that they're coming from is a situation where they're displaced from their homes due to a disaster. So the insurance policy holders that are displaced from their homes due to a disaster, that is my target audience. That is who it is that I know, like, and I am serving. Okay. So the way that I target them is by making a few key changes to my actual listing. Okay. So here's the deal. The number one reason a lot of you are not getting those bookings from your target audience is because your calendar is not optimized, your listing is not optimized. They're not finding you because if I were to go on the number one platform to look for furnished housing, spoiler alert, like it or not, it is Airbnb. And then I go and I search for your property. Well, the way your listing is set up and the way you've got 2 night bookings peppered all over your calendar, well, I can't find your property because you've got all these bookings peppered all over your calendar, right? So we want to optimize. We want to optimize. This audience is looking for a 30-day stay, a 60-day stay, but they end up staying with us for 4 months to 13 months. So behave accordingly. Make sure your calendar is set up accordingly, right? It makes sense, right? So, without going into the detail, I would have to screen share and show you the nitty gritty. Back end, it's not difficult to do, it's just a few steps. But we have a listing that is specific to our midterm rental guests. Our title says things like month to month. Our titles highlight the fact that we're a home away from home. We're a respite for those who are in transition. So it kind of speaks to them in a way that will draw them in. And as they are reading our listings, we're going to highlight the attributes and the things that we know that they want, need, desire. Uh, and not only are we speaking to them, but we're speaking to the insurance companies as well. So, what are some of those things? Number one, one of the number one amenities, quote unquote, that these individuals are looking for, and most of the hosts are not willing to offer. Brace yourself. Brace yourself. Some of you are going to clutch your pearls, okay? Is a pet friendly stay. Okay, I'm already. People are dropping off. I'm looking. It looks like people are dropping off already from the pet friendly. I know, but hear me out. Hear me out. Our revenue increased by 30% by figuring out this pet friendly stay situation. Okay, it's not like, oh, I want you to turn that on overnight. No, but I want all of you who are thinking of investing in real estate properties to be looking at properties that's going to be easy to host the pet. We like solid wood floors or hard floors that are very easy to clean and very easy to sterilize. We want to have, an air purifier in the storage room to make sure the air is refreshed between every single guest. And it's worth it, guys. When I tell you a 30% increase in revenue without having to break the bank, this is a game changer. How many investors do you think would want to just do one pivot, one little change, and then they have a 30% increase in revenue? You do not see this in businesses, right? So this is so, oh so powerful. And the reason it's powerful is people are not willing to make it happen. They're just not willing. Another thing, and I'm just going to spill the tea and share with you all the goods. Another thing that's really, really powerful is that a lot of people are not thinking about some of the most vulnerable in our communities. So, say there's a special needs child, say there's a grandparent who has mobility issues. Every time we're looking to invest in a property, we are focused on trying to find a property that may have a master bedroom or a whole bedroom and bathroom on the main level because of those mobility issues. Guys, the older generation, I don't know the statistics, don't come for me, but our friends Alex, who has the real estate assisted living community, they can appreciate that. The silver tsunami is upon us. It's coming where we're going to have more people that are over 65 years of age than any other demographic, allegedly. Don't quote me on that, okay? But we have to be mindful that, we have a large population of folks that are aging. So we want to make sure that our properties can cater to those who may have some mobility issues. So we're not officially ADA certified or anything like that, but something as simple as finding a property with a master on the main level, or a property that's a complete ranch or a one level property. It's called a ranch in Georgia. I don't know why, but one level property has been such a game changer for a lot of families that we serve who are displaced from their homes. So hopefully, the beloved, that question that you asked, who's your target audience? That is who my target audience is. And that is why we select properties that specifically we can implement a pet friendly stay, properties where we can implement some accessibility amenities, so to speak, without necessarily having to jump through too many hoops. Okay. All right. So I've got a couple more questions from Beloved. I absolutely love your engagement, but I do have quite a few questions that are coming in from the community. So I want to make sure that I address those questions as well. Where did my question sheet disappear to? Something happened. I don't know. I don't know what's happened. So I'm gonna try to log back in to find the other questions. Okay. Too much happening. Too much happening. Okay. All right. So let's see. Keep asking your questions, guys. I have some time this evening. I want to make sure again that I can get to each and every one of your questions. Hi, Sam. Sam, it is so good to see you. I saw that you had joined our Facebook group. Awesome. And I saw your amazing introduction about your kiddos. You, my friend, are an encryption engineer. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I used to do healthcare IT. So, thank you for all that you do. Encryption is absolutely huge. Okay, so Sam says that he saw the interview with Brandon Turner. Thank you, my friend. Really enjoyed it. Very practical. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so you have a two-bedroom, two-bath condo in Virginia. Ooh, very, very nice. You've got the kiddos. You've got some money that you're looking to use to purchase. Oh, to use for a high-end remodel to the unit to make it rent ready as a midterm rental. Okay, Sam, we definitely need to have a conversation because here's the deal. What I love about the midterm rentals, specifically the insurance policy holder midterm rental strategy, is that you do not need an extremely high end situation to make that happen. Okay, this is one of those scenarios where you don't want to overbuild the neighborhood, my friend. You do not want to overbuild the neighborhood. So, my friend, I would say let's read the room. Let's look at what the finishes are looking like right now in your market. A simple search on Zillow for the same bedroom count. You have a two bedroom. Look at how all of the two bedrooms are doing in your market. I would even turn on the recently sold filter to see what properties are recently sold for, and just look at the quality of the finishings, right? And I would use that to assess, well, is it worth it for me to put 60, 70, $90,000? No. Okay, you have 30. Okay, cool. You're thinking of using 30K for that. Okay, so look at what those finishes look like. And what I love about that kind of information that we have at our fingertips is it's public. It's like open forum information. I love comparing my property to other listings on Airbnb. I love comparing my real estate investing adventures to properties that are recently sold, that are properties that are for sale, just to see what is this after repair value. What is the value of that property after I put in that work? Okay, so your number, I got a little nervous when I saw $95,000, but that's not how much you're planning to do the renovation. So I feel a whole lot better. That's like it's a third of that. So okay, very good. All right, so let me read the second portion of your question before I jump off the deep end here. All right, plan to use it as midterm rental. We're considering living with family locally so we can put our unit up for rent next 3 to 6 months. Yes, I know you're in IT. Your goal is to retire within 5 years. Love that. Love those numbers. Those are some very aggressive numbers. I'd also like to fully pay off the HELOC in 3 years. Great plan. Looking to purchase another property and want a repeatable system that works to help me reach financial goals. Given this, what strategies would you recommend to maximize rental income, grow my real estate portfolio, and achieve these financial targets? Oh, I love this question, Sam. Okay, so Sam, let me be fully transparent with you, okay, my friend? I find that the 3 to 4 bedroom properties, specifically the 4 bedroom properties, are the ones that give me the biggest bang for my buck. Okay. 4 bedrooms, hands down, the biggest bang for my buck. And here's the reason. Here's the reason, Sam. The reason is that when the insurance policyholders and the temporary housing agencies that are looking for properties to place their clients, they often go straight to one of those big chain apartments first. They have contracts with them. They reserve a number of apartments that they know that will most likely be available for them to use for the most part. And if it is in a market where there's a lot of vacancy in those apartments, they will work with that apartment chain or the apartment brand and stand up a property within 24 to 48 hours by reaching out to local rental furniture companies, and they're good to go. And so I do everything in my power not to compete with those 2 bedroom apartments. Some apartments may even have 3 bedrooms, but it's so rare. You will hardly ever find an apartment that has all of those units with a huge swath of 4 bedroom properties, right? Not to say that this concept will not work in your market. It will work. It will work. But what I'm telling you is what you're up against. You're up against you're competing against a lot of apartments as well. So my approach would be, well, how do we reposition ourselves so that we can get into a 4 bedroom, if that's even a possibility? I know that's not what you're asking, but based on your aggressive numbers, 33 million, I'm with you. The way we get there, my friend, is by repositioning. We want that first investment to come out the gate just really, really set up in a stellar way. And the four bedrooms plus are absolutely crushing it in this space because they are not competing with anyone else. Hardly anyone is willing to put themselves out on the line with a four-bedroom property. So it takes a level of boldness to do so. That's why I say less is more, right? It's going to be quality over quantity. So my question to you is, and I hate to answer your question with a question, but truly it is, how do we reposition your strategy to get you into a four-bedroom? What would need to be true for you to take that 30K and uh I would say transition it towards looking at a bedroom. What would need to be true to make that happen so that you're no longer in the red ocean and competing with everyone else, but you're in the blue ocean just on your own, doing your thing, and having massively high demand. You become in high demand. Okay. And so, spoiler alert, what I think would need to be true, potentially, allegedly, is you may have to look outside of your market, right? You may have to look outside of your market. A lot of our members have turned to out of state investing to find those amazing opportunities. Okay. All right. So I see that you're in the group, my friend. Let's continue on the conversation. I would love, love, love to unpack this a little bit more with you, but I would explore based on your budget, based on the cash that you have on hand. Where can I find a highly profitable four-bedroom property? That's the direction I would go in. All right, Nicole. Nicole is asking the right questions as well. So Nicole says furnish finder versus other areas to advertise. Nicole, thank you, thank you, thank you for asking that question. I'm going to answer your question, but before I do, please allow me an opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit about midterm rental avatars. Okay, there's not just one midterm rental avatar out there. There's over 100 midterm rental avatars out there, and I think it's important. It's high time that we actually cover some of those avatars to make sure that everyone's aware, right? Okay. So I absolutely love again the insurance policy holders because the homeowners insurance, they saw a surplus of over $1.03 trillion back in 20 at the end of 2022, they saw a surplus of over $1.03 trillion. So, what does that mean? Well, here's what it means it means that their pockets are deep. It means that they have a whole lot of money. They have a whole lot of money left over, right? And I'm looking. Okay, I don't know why I'm so off center. It's kind of annoying me. Okay, I think I'm like I'm moving over to the right a little bit. Maybe that'll help. I'm looking. Hopefully. Anyway, all right. So focus, Rachel. I'm getting distracted. All right. So their pockets are so deep. I want to deal with an industry whose pockets are deep as opposed to an industry that is fighting for their lives. Okay, that is my goal. My goal is to deal with an industry whose pockets are deep. That's why I love the homeowners insurance industry. There are secondary avatars as well that I want you to think about. So not only do I work with the homeowners insurance industry, but my secondary avatars for my markets in Georgia are the film industry. The film industry are amazing as well. Georgia's being known as the Hollywood of the South. It's a whole thing. So I think it's really important if you are an investor, you need to have different exit strategies, different opportunities to pivot, right? Okay, so that is my secondary avatar. However, every market has its own. Like not everywhere will you find the Hollywood of the South, right? That's not a thing. That's not a thing that's located everywhere. So it's going to be really important to figure out, well, what is your specific market? What's going on in your market? So here's the deal. What is going on in your market? I truly believe from the bottom of my heart, everyone needs to have the insurance policyholder strategy as their number one, as your number one midterm rental strategy, no matter what. I've been doing this since 2018. Carol and my team, she has been doing this since 2008. Okay, so as long as there are water pipes that burst, as long as there are storms, as long as there are a variety of reasons that your property can get damaged, There's always a need. There is always a need, hands down, okay? There's always a need. So let's put that on the back burner. Homeowners insurance, that is your number one no matter what. The only two markets where it is not possible and it's not going to work out are number one markets where there is a massive seasonality. Okay, markets where there is a massive seasonality, such as um, Cape May in New Jersey, right? Or Alexandria Bay in New York. Like the town shuts down essentially the entire year. It's only open 3 months out of the year for vacationers, for travelers, and so on and so forth. So that type of market is a non-starter. That's a no-no. Okay, so we're just gonna say no to that particular market. For the homeowners policy holder strategy, there's just not enough people to serve year round. It's just not a vibe. And most of those people, when they come, that's their secondary home, that's their tertiary home. They have a primary home. So if something were to happen to that vacation home, they're going to their primary home. Okay. So give me a one in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down right now, because I don't want you to miss this. I want to make sure you're understanding who the strategy is for and who the strategy is not for. Again, it is not for those massively seasonal markets. The homeowners policyholder strategy is not for a market where there is vast seasonality. So give me a one in the chat if you are picking up what I'm putting down, and I'm going to look at my chat. I'm going to look to make sure that you are following. Okay, the second group are those who are actually, oh, thank you. The second group are those who are actually in extremely rural markets. Okay. Oh my gosh, that just reminded me. Got to connect with a friend on a rural situation. Okay, so rural markets. The reason it doesn't work for those rural markets is because, again, there's just not enough inventory and not enough people to serve. So if there are 100 acres between neighbors, right, what is the likelihood that someone's going to need help month after month after month, year after year after year? Okay, I see all of you putting one in chat. Hey, Rachel. Hey, girl. Hey. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Okay, so you guys are definitely following. Awesome. Okay, so great. So those are the avatars or locations that this particular strategy would not work in. Okay, so we're going to X those out. Solid. All right, so let's talk about it. What are the secondary midterm rental strategies? So for me in Georgia, it's the Hollywood of the South. So figure out, do you have film industry in your location? Well, that might be a great secondary midterm rental strategy. Okay. All right. So if you have a pen and paper, you may want to start writing this down, because I'm going to list a whole bunch of midterm rental avatars who are looking for properties right now in a variety of markets. Okay. I'm going to list them. I'm not going to go too deep and dissect them. I love being long winded. I love giving you the long story, not the short story. So, but this time, guys, I really want to make sure I get to everyone's question. I see all the questions coming in. So I just want to popcorn, and list those avatars for you. These are your secondary avatars. Your primary, again, are your insurance avatars, but I'm warning you, I'm about to list a whole lot of other avatars that I need you to look into for your particular market. Okay, you may be in a market where these other avatars may be looking for properties where there's a demand in your market. Okay, so let's talk about it. I have a little cheat sheet that I use when I'm working with my clients, and I said, let me pull up this little cheat sheet just to give you a few. I'm not going to give you everything because I'm not going to bullet you to death, but we know that midterm rental demand is everywhere for a variety of reasons. Okay, starting with ready, set, go. Academic housing, seasonal workers, film and entertainment, flight schools, construction workers, intern housing, government officials, government contracts, diplomats, artists and writers, house renovators, climate migrants, your snowbirds, festival attendees, festival workers, research scientists, touring musicians and crew, humanitarian aid workers, cruise ship workers, political campaign staff. If you're near a capital, political campaign staff, convention attendees and organizers, religious missionaries, expatriates, medical travelers. Okay, so medical travelers involve those who are actually seeking medical care in certain markets. So keep that in mind. Oh man, it says that we're having issues loading. Hopefully, darn it. Okay, I'm freezing. I don't know why I'm freezing. I'm wired in. So hopefully you guys are still picking up what I am putting down and you're catching what we are sharing tonight. So yes, so Nicole, there are so many different midterm rental avatars. Furnish Finder is fantastic for travel nurses. Notice that I didn't even mention travel nurses. My sister's a travel nurse, and I know she was out here fighting for her life on making good money, but still on a budget. So she wanted, she wanted a good deal. And I find Furnish Finder is a platform that has a lot of people looking for a really, really good deal. They're looking for cheaper accommodations. And so that's great for them, but that is not how I run my business per se. So am I allowed to say that? So I list on Furnish Finder in order to kind of generate those relationships and have those conversations going. But for our 4-bedroom properties, it's just not the most ideal platform right now. They're making great strides to improve upon it, but not really my cup of tea. So I use other platforms like the actual insurance platform, the temporary housing agency platform. Lagging a little. Okay, audio is still good though. Yeah, the insurance companies, the temporary housing agencies, they have their own platform. I go ahead and list with them. Additionally, I list a few of my properties, not all of them, but a few of my properties on corporate housing by owner. So those are paid platforms. Corporate housing and Furnish Finder are paid platforms. So Nicole, hopefully that answers your question. Okay. So depending on where it is that you're located, the type of property that you have, and who it is that you want to serve, Furnish Finder is definitely a viable option for sure. But definitely make sure that you're looking at other platforms depending on who it is that you are serving, my friend. All right, next up. Okay, hi Mitch. Hi friend. Mitch says, I have a mortgage on my own home, but I have 100K for my first rental. Next step. Okay, so Mitch, this is a great question. Your next step is to identify what type of investor are you? Okay, so would love to have a conversation with you and provide you a training. So let's get Mitch a training to determine what kind of investor are you. Are you an investor that is looking for I would say a lifestyle asset that you get to enjoy that pays for itself? We have a few of our I would say our senior members who are just looking for just not much cash flow. They just want a legacy investment that pays for itself, which is great. So if that's you, that's going to help inform me of what your next step is. However, that wasn't me. I was not her for a very long time. I will become her very soon, but when I was fighting for my life on these W-2 streets, my friend, I needed cash flow. I needed money, like real money. Like $100 extra a month was not going to do. I need a minimum of 2,000 a month to upwards of 10K a month to start making a dent in my student loans and to start giving me a little bit of that breathing room so that I can cut back on that W-2 and those 5 jobs my husband and I were working, right? So that is a cash flow crusader. So Mitch, my friend, what are you? Are you a cash flow crusader? Or are you a lifestyle investor? Okay, so assuming you are a cash flow crusader, I would definitely love for you to do an analysis so that we can see if a short term rental is what you need to launch within the next 30 to 60 days to take advantage of some serious tax benefits that are now available in legislation. And the way that I would know that is to assess your tax bracket, and I would provide you recommendation on the markets that are going to give you some of those massive tax savings, bonus depreciation, accelerated depreciation. So there's a couple of questions that I have for you, my friend, and 100K is more than enough to get you going. All right. So, Jen's got a great question. So, Jen says, "Do you have subscriptions to AirDNA, Rabu, Furnish Finder, etc.?" Okay, so Jen, this is a really, really good question. Yes, I have a subscription to AirDNA. You do not need a subscription for Rabu. It's free. It's completely for free. AirDNA, I call it freemium. And what is freemium? Well, portions of the site is free. You can start off leveraging the free portion just to get some preliminary information. But once you're going to open your wallet to actually make a property purchase, and you're taking some serious looks at some property, you do want to make sure that you purchase the subscription for AirDNA to get more of the back end information. So AirDNA has more than 6 years of data. So we're looking in the past 6 years, and we're even looking in the future to see, well, what's the future pacing looking like? Well, how are these properties doing in the next 3 to 6 months? Are there even bookings in this market, right? There's nothing like knowing that money is on the way before you make an investment, right? So really, really important to get the paid version of AirDNA when you're analyzing a specific market. Furnish Finder is the data side of Furnish Finder. I think it's called it's furnishfinder.com/analysis or furnishfinder.com/data. Riker, maybe we need to find that link and we can drop it in the chat for Jen. That portion is free. You can find out the data information for free. But to list your property on Furnish Finder, yes, you would need to pay for that, okay? All right, next question, Felicia. Hi, Felicia. Felicia says, how long should it take to get an inquiry from the insurance after listing? Okay, so that is a great question, Felicia. I truly believe in multi-platform distribution. So I want to list on as many platforms as possible in order to get as much exposure as possible. Okay. So here's the deal. It depends. If your calendar is optimized, it's wide open. Versus if your calendar has 2-night bookings peppered all over it, that's going to impact your ability to get an inquiry. So I would first say definitely take a look at your calendar to see what it looks like to ensure that it is fully available so that those inquiries will start coming in. Okay. So the longest that I've seen it take is about 4 to 5 months to get that first inquiry. That's the longest, but most of our members get inquiries within 30 days. Okay. Most are getting inquiries within 30 days. The longest I've seen is 4 to 5 months. As a matter of fact, Elena inside of our community, and Elena was a physician from Uzbekistan. She is a RN case manager here in the United States. And so she set up her property as a beautiful midterm rental. She launched it and she started getting inquiries within weeks. However, she accepted a longer term booking. Then she opened it back up for more inquiries. It was a long-term rental. Once the lease was up, she transitioned it. She furnished it beautifully into a midterm rental. Okay. Which is great. All right. So now she was like, okay, it's at $5,000 a month is where she had priced it. And she hadn't gotten any inquiries. So the second month she had taken the price down to $4,500. And this is in Connecticut, Simsbury, Connecticut. It's like not necessarily a place that people would typically think that there was a demand. Well, guess what? Out of the blue, guys, out of the blue, there was something called a microburst. She reached out to me to tell me, Rachel, there was a microburst. I was like, microburst? What is that? I had never heard of it. So I went ahead and looked up, well, what is a microburst? And so microburst is like a storm, a mini tornado, right? That I forgot all the details already, but a microburst essentially is a mini tornado. And so this mini tornado was caused so much damage that she got 8 inquiries in one day because of this microburst, and she was able to get a 6-month booking from a family that was impacted by said microburst. And so for the other inquiries that she got, she was able to connect them with other members inside of her local community. That's one thing that I recommend, that you create a little local hub of other hosts so that you can pass deals along to each other. That's a part of it too, Felicia. Midterm rentals is a team sport. Don't go flying solo, my friend. So you want to make sure that you're connecting with others inside of your community because they will pay it forward. You don't know how many deals that we get inside of our little WhatsApp channel for my neighborhood, where our properties are located. Hey, I got one, but I can't fulfill it, right? Because we're all small business owners. We each have two or three properties in a particular market, and so once we're booked solid. Two inquiries have the potential to block our entire year, right? So it's gonna take having friends and creating a network of other investors, of other hosts, to really spread the love and make it happen. And it's important to do so because you want to be that person. You want to be that gal, Miss Felicia, that whenever there's the insurance reaches out, the insurance is like, you know what, I'm going to reach out to Felicia because no matter what, she never says no. She's always connecting us to a property to make it happen. Okay, my friend. All right, love that. Hopefully that is helpful. Multi-platform distribution, making sure your calendar is wide open and connecting. The connection is key. Hopefully that helps, my friend. Okay, Arjuman. Hi, friend. How are you? Long time no see. Okay, Arjuman says that I have a 4-bedroom house that I listed for sale. It was my primary home for 5 years. But since it's a buyer's market, I was wondering, pull that thing. Let me finish reading. I'm sorry. But since it's a buyer's market, I was wondering if it's a smart idea to instead list it for midterm to long term. Short term rental is not allowed in my area. Arjuman, I would definitely test it out 1,000%. 1,000%, I would test it out for sure. Okay. I would test it out. I would absolutely test it out as a midterm rental. Go ahead and list it. List it on the platforms. What's the worst that can happen, Arjumon? You get an inquiry and then you have to scramble. I wrote an article for Bigger Pockets, and it was just that story. Our house was on the market. We were getting offers on it, and we got the biggest, juiciest midterm rental offer. And imagine the look on my husband's face and my brother's face after they spent a whole week moving furniture out, and I'm begging them to move the furniture back in. They were like, you have got to be kidding me. They were not into it, but once they heard the numbers, they're like, all right. All right, I see where you're coming from. Okay, so Arjuman, your actual situation is very familiar to me. I oh, I'm getting a call. Who's calling me? Oh, speaking of which, my dad. Okay, I'll have to call him back. Yeah, so your actual situation is very familiar to me. There's nothing wrong with testing it out and seeing what happens. Since it is indeed a buyer's market, why not, right? Yeah, test it out. Let me know what happens, my friend. Okay, Teresa. Hi, Teresa. Oh my gosh, it has been too long, my friend. Okay, so Teresa says, how do you build a relationship with insurance companies so they know about your property? Teresa, I'm pretty sure you have access to where we are listing. So, um, yeah, Teresa, you should have my training on how to list on ALE Solutions, on how to list on all the platforms. So multi-platform distribution. At the end of the day, let's put it like this. Everyone, whenever they think um, of furnished housing, they think Airbnb, period, including the insurance company. Including the insurance company. They think Airbnb. They think Airbnb, my friend. So be sure to list your property and optimize it for Airbnb as well. Okay? Be sure to optimize for Airbnb as well. All right, my friend. Okay, so I'm getting a message that we got to wrap. No worries. I know I have to wrap. I just have a couple questions to go, and then we are definitely going to wrap it up. And we'll be back tomorrow, guys, for one more session. I just want to make sure that I get these questions answered. So, list on Airbnb, list with the number one temporary housing agency in North America, ALE Solutions, and they will reach out to you. And the way you continue to build those relationships, Teresa, is exactly what I mentioned a little bit earlier from Miss Felicia, is by whenever they reach out to you, you answer and you respond with a solution. I remember when Elena, she got the insurance company reach out to her and they said, "Are you familiar with this strategy?" She goes, "Of course I am," right? So you want to approach it with confidence. You want to approach it with empathy. You want to make sure that they know that you care and you're just there to help them to house these families who are displaced from their home due to a disaster, whether it's a natural disaster or an accidental disaster. Accidents happen every day. Accidents happen every day. So that is how we foster those relationships. And then once our properties are coming up, I would say to be vacant within the next 30 to 60 days, we reach out with a quick text message because a lot of times they're giving us their cell phone numbers. We'll reach out with a text message or we'll reach out with a quick email, right? Because we're not cold calling. I know some people are specialists in cold calling. That's not a vibe for me. I'm a mom with a whole husband, 2 boys, and 2 dogs. I just don't have the capacity to do all of that. So therefore, I want to make it easy as possible for myself, easy as possible for our communities. All right, next question. Teresa says, are insurance clients typically wealthier than travel nurses, or are travel nurses that can afford luxury properties? Okay, so that's a great question, Teresa. The insurance clients are not paying us. The homeowners insurance companies are the ones that are paying us, and their pockets are deep. So what you're asking is who essentially has the bigger budget to pay for their stay. The insurance company, hands down. Corporations are going to have a bigger budget than individuals for the most part. So the insurance company have a much bigger budget than the individuals, who are punching a clock every day and working. I know travel nurses, they make a whole lot of money, but the insurance company's pockets are so deep, so much so that when all of their bills were paid, all of the claims were taken care of, all the employees were paid, all their overhead was paid, here's what they had left over. Brace yourself. Come back to me if you're multitasking. The insurance, here's what they had left over at the end of the year when everything was paid. This is surplus, okay? Take a breather. Have a seat if you're standing. Have a seat. If you're driving, pull over to the side. $1.03 trillion left over. That's with a TR. Let me let that breathe for a second. When all their bills were paid, when all of the claims were taken care of, when all the employees were paid, the expenses were paid, the overhead was paid, what did they have left over at the end of the year? They had 1.03 trillion with a TR left over at the end of the year. So if there's an industry that has that much money left over, I want some of that. I don't know about you, but that's what I want some of, okay? And so I have a training just about this particular strategy. DM me the word grow if you want to learn a little bit more about it. And let me see. I want to see where's my little call to action. There we go. Hopefully. Yep. Or actually, don't DM me. Comment the word grow. Comment the word grow, and I'll let you know all about the homeowners insurance strategy and how our members are getting in there and they're able to create a meaningful revenue stream. So what is their budget? What is their budget per property? Well, their budget is about 25% of that property's rebuild value. So say the structure's rebuild value is $400,000. That's why we aim for those 4 bedrooms, my friend Sam. Sam, I am. So if it's a $400,000 property, okay, that's the structure rebuild value. 25% of that is $100,000 per year per claim. That is why we target the homeowners insurance strategy. Corey on LinkedIn has a question. Hi, Corey. So Corey says, how do you get a property from a family member without them having a will? Okay, so Corey, you're asking about assets, and those are a little bit more legal. So typically what I'm speaking about when I am talking about a property that you're connected to. Say an aunt wants some help setting up a property as a short-term rental, or she's looking for a long-term tenant. Some of our members, I have a couple of members who they have a parent who has moved overseas, but the house is sitting there. They rent it from the parent, and then we set it up as a short-term rental or midterm rental, and then we rent it back out. So that is called, an arbitrage move. So that is the move that we're talking about. Okay. So as far as a will and all of that, that is more of an asset protection type of question. You can speak with our real estate attorneys that can speak to that, getting a property from a family member without having a will. All of that, I'm not exactly sure the context of that question, Corey, but that is a great question. But let me give you, I just want to provide you the context from my perspective, members of our community, they leverage the homes of family members. They either rent it out from that family member, purchase it as in a traditional uh, forum, or purchase it in a non-traditional, I would say, creative finance, subject to, there's a variety of ways of making that happen. So I'm not going to be the legal expert to provide you that information. I'm a little pharmacist who went straight real estate investing. I can speak to that. But hopefully that provides you some clarity. Corey from LinkedIn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's see. Aliza, so good to see you. Is this Aliza or Eliza? Let me know in the chat. Okay, so Aliza or Eliza, so how do you contact leads on the avatars? How do you contact leads on the avatars? What do you mean by that, my friend? How do you contact leads on the avatars? Let me know in the chat what you mean by that. I'll definitely circle back. I can respond in the chat or jump back in when I go live tomorrow to provide you with a response. Okay, the next question is from Rachel. Rachel says, do these strategies work in Canada? Absolutely, they work in Canada. One of the members of our team has been doing this in Canada since 2008. Are there homes in Canada? Are there fires in Canada? Are there floods in Canada? Are there water pipes that burst in Canada? It absolutely, absolutely works. Okay. Jen says, can you be listed on Airbnb both as an STR and an NTR? Absolutely, you can. So you want to work with your far out bookings and your length of stay strategy. So if you make your length of stay 14 days or more, or your minimum length of stay of 30 days or more, or 10 days or more, that's how we have set up some of our midterm rental properties, by leveraging the length of stay to make them into midterm rentals on platforms like Airbnb. Okay, it looks like, my goodness, we got a lot of questions that came in. I'm going to take a final question. Okay, let's see here. All right. Okay, so the beloved is asking a great question. She goes, how do you market your properties? I've spoken on that, multi-platform distribution. And the last question is, how much do you charge per room? So I don't use a rent by the room model. That is a very popular model that is out there. That is not our model. We just charge by the entire house. So it depends, usually anywhere from $8,300 per month to $16,000 per month in one of our markets, to upwards of $28,000 a month in another one of our markets that's a whole lot more affluent. All right. So hopefully that provides you some guidance, my dear friends. We are wrapping up for tonight. I really hope that you found some value from our live session tonight. But before I go, guys, I would love to let you know about an exclusive in-person retreat that we are having here in beautiful Serenbe, Georgia, just 30 minutes outside of Atlanta. It is happening in October, guys, October 16th through the 20th. It is a 3.5-day event that is just perfect for serious investors who are just ready to take action. We only have 4 spots left, so this is your chance to dive in, my friend. I want to make sure that We are walking you through what you need, and we are building a community that is looking to really take their real estate dreams to the next level. I want to make those dreams a reality. So during the retreat, it is a small in-person retreat, 50, 20 attendees only, 20 max. And this is where you're going to discover really how just two doors can bring you more income for has brought in actually more income for our members than their full-time W2. Two doors, meaning two properties. You don't need 100 properties to be wildly successful in real estate. You don't need it. You don't need it. Okay. So, point blank, period. This is where I will be sharing with you how to not only identify those two doors, but how to take advantage of massive tax savings, because it's the tax savings that got us to that financial freedom number sooner than we would have ever expected. You're going to get access to my step by step guide, all of my templates, all of the temporary housing agencies that we use. You get access to the list, their phone numbers, their email address, everyone that you need to contact. You get access to AirDNA, the enterprise version. It is the platform that we use to really identify and hone in on our markets, to really find those markets, those gems, right? That are the hidden gems, where some of you are sitting on a mountain of gold right now when it comes to real estate. You are unaware of the full potential that you may have right there in your own backyard. Okay, so this is what we're sharing with you. And for those of you who have a property, our methods will make sure that your bookings will never jump, never run dry, never ever run dry. Okay, so before we do jump in, we want to make sure that those who are coming to the event, we have vetted each and every person who has who is connected with us, because our room, it's going to be a very highly curated room. There's a lot of confidential information that we are sharing. We're being very transparent at the highest possible level. So it's really important that we get on a call with you, that we connect with you to make sure that we can help you every step of the way. Okay. So if this is something, if you feel like, you know what, this might be something that I need before 2024, before this tax strategy that's available right now, the 60% bonus depreciation, before it goes away, this might be something that I need to tap into. If that is you, if you're thinking, okay, I might need to look at this a little bit further, go ahead and comment the word grow, GROW, comment the word grow below, and I'm going to send you some information, a link to book a call so we can get on a call. Okay, I'm not here to sell you anything. I just want to make sure this opportunity is the right one for you. And of course, I would love, love, love to connect with you in person and to help you to take the next step to financial freedom. So it's time to grow, my friend. It is time to grow, my friend. So let's make it happen together. Love you all to the moon. I appreciate each and every one of you joining us tonight. That's a wrap, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.